The other thing that I found completely compelling and heartbreaking to me was seeing Jonathan Toews finally come out and speak, because he's not playing right now. And the NHL gave a very incredible statement saying that they really care about the privacy of their players. So they're not going to say what's wrong with him. I mean, everybody can speculate, but
yeah, you know what? I think the only reason why he came out was because obviously he felt obligated to congratulate Patrick Kane on an incredible milestone of playing his 1,000th game. It was a really nice video, a really nice tribute. But you're right. It's you know, we've not heard anything from Toews at all, who took the medical leave of absence in December and is experiencing symptoms, and he just felt drained, and he hasn't really felt up to saying anything. And the team, and you know, I'm glad that nobody's forcing him to come out and say anything. But I also thought it was a nice gesture based on what he's going through to still go and do the video for a guy who he won 3 Stanley Cups with, and a guy he'll be tied to forever in Patrick Kane.
Well, when they announced that he wasn't going to go to camp and was feeling ill, I thought of the vegetarian from the year before, and I lived that but that accusation or understanding until I was talking to an old reporter friend of mine in Chicago last week, and I said to him, "How is Toews doing?" "Oh, you haven't heard?" I said, "No." He said, "Well, he had COVID."
Right.
And he said lung damage, and that's why he isn't playing. I said, well, that's the first time I've ever heard that.
Yep.
And I was expecting you or Frank to say that, so I'm shocked that they haven't released that.
They haven't. They have not released it. They've been very good about his privacy. You know what,
John? There's a rumor that he had a severe reaction to COVID. Severe.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, his lungs are in tough shape, Frank.
Pardon me?
His lungs are in tough shape.
Yeah.
That's not what I heard. Like, if you read some of the precedents of certain people, healthy people that are incredibly great shape, how COVID's affected them. Somebody who worked for us got COVID. You know, he beat it, but he's very tired and listless and has no energy. And this is a year now.
Well, most athletes that have gotten it have been asymptomatic, have not had what's happened to Jonathan Toews, and have not had to miss time. I mean, listen, Austin Matthews got it, right? He got it early on. Yeah. Steve Simmons wrote the article about it, and Steve Simmons took a lot of heat for that. And Austin said it really didn't affect him in any way. The NBA players that have been in COVID, the Raptors are dealing with a big-time COVID issue right now with their entire coaching staff and with their players. But again, we're not hearing anything about effects, or, you know, they're basically going to be back as soon as the 14 days are up that they have to be away from the team. That's generally been the way. What's happened with Toews is so different than what we've seen with athletes, because you're right, most athletes that have gotten it really haven't had to deal with very much with it. I mean, there's one example of the Atlanta Braves where, you know, a player got it and he was, you know, near death. But other than that, it's been athletes that have gotten it haven't suffered too much.
You see, people don't understand that it's a absolutely schizophrenic virus, right?
Yeah.
It's absolutely schizophrenic. And it does different things to different people.
Yeah.
And some people just die.
Yep.
Like, I was looking at a report today on one guy who got it, and it destroyed 100% of the capacity of his lungs. He does not get enough air to substantiate him being able to breathe on his own. He only pulls enough air not even to fucking keep a guppy alive.
Yeah, no, you're right. It certainly affects people in different ways, and it doesn't, just because you're old or just because you're, you know, it doesn't care. Like, I mean, like, you know, it can take, you know, a Jonathan Toews or a Freddie Freeman or a very healthy athlete Freeman felt like, Freeman was praying to God, don't take me, when he got it, in the baseball offseason before he was able to come back to the Braves. It can have awful, awful effects.
Well, I think it has with Toews. What are we saying? He had COVID and he's had lung damage. Now,
right.
We don't know the lung damage, but we just talked about lung damage.
Yep.
Whether Frank said it's getting enough air to feed a guppy, or whether it's getting enough air to feed one of the best hitters in hockey.
That he cannot, with conscience, play in an elite league at the best of his ability.
No.
So
that's why we have
working with his doctors and working to see how old is Toews? 31, 32?
I think it might be a bit older than that.
32.
I'll check. Yeah.
I'll check. He's 32. In that 32, 33, because he and Dean are similar.
He is 32 years old. Yep.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I thought.
Yep.
So he's still very young. So they're going to have to make a choice. If he can produce enough capacity, the way it works, guys, I don't know if you know, it's they look at the amount of oxygen in your blood. It needs to be at least at 98, 99%. To allow you to not be out of breath and to function normally. Once you get in the early 90s, like 91, 92, it could be dangerous. And if it goes below 90, you need oxygen.
Yeah.